What does it mean if you're told that your baby is breech, and what can you do about it and what should you do about it? How common is this? So at around 28 weeks, about 20 to 25% of babies will in fact be breech, either feet down or butt down. So that changes at 37 to 40 weeks, it's about 3 to 4%. This means that you do not have to stress because the majority of babies will turn head down by themselves by the time they get to term. But while you shouldn't stress about this, it is important and very helpful to be proactive about it if baby is still breech around 28 to 30 weeks. You don't need to stress and worry about it, but it is a sign that your body is possibly communicating a need for balance, and there's a lot we can do to invite in balance to help baby to more easily and more quickly move to head down. So providers will like to see baby going head down around 34 to 35 weeks, but I believe that we can be proactive without stressing a little bit earlier than that, closer to 28 to 30 weeks. If you have what's known as a bicornate uterus, or you had a previous pregnancy where baby was breech for a more prolonged period of time, I encourage you to start the breech balancing activities sooner, so closer to 20 weeks. But if you've never had a breech baby, this is your first experience, you can safely wait until 28 to 30 weeks, knowing that creating balance in the body is good no matter what position baby is in. So you may want to start just the general balancing stuff regardless, just to set you up to maybe not even having a breech baby in the first place. If your baby is still breech 34 to 35 weeks, you can up your game essentially. So you can be adding more breech stuff such as the breech tilt and the other things that we're going to discuss later on in this video. At 37 weeks, if your baby is still breech, this is the time where your provider might suggest what's called an ECV. This is a manual way that a provider can attempt to rotate baby manually to head down. Now, if this is something that you choose to do, make sure, one, that you have a really skilled provider who you know their success rates in this and they do them regularly. And also, you want to know that all the balancing stuff that you have been doing up until that point is not lost. And I have found that a lot of folks, when they do their ECV, have they been doing balancing work for the last several weeks or months, that ECV tends to be much more successful. So that is another option for you. If, ECV and balancing work and baby is still breech, 37 weeks and beyond, you can continue doing your balancing activities, and sometimes those babies will go to head down. And finally, it's important to note that despite all that we do, all the balancing work, all the different things, if baby is still remaining breech, remember 3 to 4%, there is a potential possibility that baby has some information that we don't have, a cord or other things that we don't find out until maybe after the birth, or maybe we never find out. But we need to trust this unique journey that maybe this baby needs to be breech for whatever reason. So be proactive, but also let go of the outcome, knowing that you're, stacking the cards in your favor. Not everything is within your control, and we're gonna release and let go from there. Let's talk about reasons that a baby is breech. So again, the baby is communicating a need for balance a lot of the times with breech. So what does that mean? So one of the common things we see with baby breech is that there is some sort of twist, torsion, or rotation of the pelvis. This is making a twist in the uterus as well, and that lower uterine segment is going to have smaller space for baby, and so their bigger head may not be able to fit there. Instead, they're going to accommodate the space they're given, and maybe that's a butt or a foot that is able to fit through that lower uterine segment. Remember, when the pelvis is shifted or twisted or torqued, the uterus is attached to the pelvis via ligaments, and so we don't want to just address the pelvis, we want to address the ligaments, the fascia, all the tissues to help create some balance, and now baby has a bigger surface area to go head down. There can be other balance issues at play. I find a lot of times when baby is breech, we also have some imbalances and restrictions in the upper body. And so what our breech balancing class is going to do is it's going to allow you to encourage balance in the entire body. So the rib cage, which is at the top of the uterus, the pelvis at the bottom, and all the fascia, ligaments, and structures that can help create that balance for baby to navigate. We've talked a little bit about what you can do if baby is breech, but let's kind of put it in options that you have for yourself. So the very first option is you can do nothing. If you don't feel right doing different balancing activities, it's too much, you're not interested, you are autonomous. This is your birth. This is your baby. This is your intuition that you should be trusting. And maybe your option is to do nothing and to either have a vaginal breech birth with a trained provider who knows how to do those, or to have a surgical birth. So those are kind of two of your options. Doing nothing. And also doing nothing, a strong percentages of babies will still move to head down. So just know that if you are early on and baby is breech and you're not feeling ready to do anything, your baby still absolutely may go to head down. The second thing you can do, we've already started talking about, is you can do balancing exercises. So we have the balancing breech video for free that you can check out, and you can do that. I suggest at least once a day to help your body encourage balance. I would start that 28 to 30 weeks, depending on how you feel or when you find it, but it's never too late to work on that balance. So if you are 37 weeks, 38 weeks, why not create that balance to encourage baby to find their best position for birth? Another really great option is Bodywork, and I love doing Bodywork alongside the balancing exercises. So different options: dynamic body balancing, craniosacral therapy, chiropractic care, the Webster technique, acupuncture, along with some moxa, which acupuncturists that are trained in this will understand what they need to do to support the balance of the body, or any body worker who has specific breech training. This is not all body workers, but there are a select few really tuned in body workers who understand how to support helping baby move to head down. Do you need to do all of those? Please don't. That's going to be overwhelming and it's going to feel like a full-time job. So trust your intuition and tune in. What body workers might be good to add to my team? Maybe it's a chiropractor and a craniosacral therapist. Maybe it's an acupuncturist and a dynamic body balancer, or any other combination of that. Find the people that work for you, that feel right for you. Don't feel like you have to do everything. That's just going to overwhelm you and be counterproductive. Another thing we can do is we can work on nervous system regulation and inner work. So I love the Hypnobaby's Turn Your Breech Baby track. You can even do that in like a breech tilt position, or do it while you're doing other balancing activities, working on different types of relaxation, self-care, meditation, hypnosis. There's a lot of ways that we can help calm ourselves down, because when you feel and you find out that your baby is breech, it can create a lot of different alerts in your inner world, right? A lot of fear, a lot of different things can come up that again is going to restrict those tissues that are maybe holding baby into that position, such as our psoas muscle. It is both our muscle of fight or flight, and it is also encouraging baby's position. And so really getting yourself to let go of the outcome, to breathe and to know that you're okay, and you're just doing this in a more calm manner versus like must turn my baby manner, is really going to help set you up for this stuff being more easily doable. The key here is really to not overwhelm yourself. It does not need to be a full-time job to get your baby to move to head down like it can sometimes feel. Everybody has opinions on what you should or shouldn't do. So this is really good opportunity to practice the skill you're going to need to be a parent, that is owning your own beliefs about this, owning your own power, becoming autonomous, and choosing what's truly right for you and leaving out all the noise. So I encourage you to pick from this video and from all of the things that you are finding what works best for you and leave the rest behind. If you'd like to find our other breech video, our breech balancing movement class, please see our channel and check it out.